All right, welcome back to It's Time Picks. It has been quite a bit. We've been a little busy since the 1 week break that the UFC had, but we are back, and we are back coming back to this huge card. It's had a couple of big changes to it. It's Volkanovski versus Makhachev. When it was originally supposed to be Oliveira and Hamzat was supposed to fight, I can't even remember.
Paulo Costa.
There you go, Costa's bitch ass. But yeah, this is it's a huge card, UFC 294. It's got a lot of good fights. This should be a loaded card. I actually really like this card. It's probably the best card that we've had in quite a while. There hasn't been a whole lot to be excited about lately, but definitely liking this one.
I can definitely agree. This looks like a very stacked card from top to bottom. This is definitely be a card that I would recommend sometime Friday or early Saturday morning. Go get your snacks, get your beverages, pop a squat on the couch, and definitely tune into a good card from top to bottom.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into it. Very first fight, we have Shara Magomedov finally making his debut against Bruno Silva. And I know you're a big fan of Magomedov, so I'll let you start this one off.
So a lot of people wonder how the hell can he fight. So I thought he only had one eye, but apparently, from what more I've been looking into, he can still see images in that eye. So I don't know if he's colorless in one eye. I don't know, but this dude's a bad boy. Yeah, you can look at his record. Some spots don't look the greatest because some of the talent out there. But and you look at the OV, you're like, oh, this man's a wrestler. No, this man likes to throw the hands, and that's one thing I like about him. He's crafty striker, good in and out movement. Can he get 5 footed a little bit when he tries to overextend a little bit? Yeah, but that's a lot of them Russian type strikers, and this matchup with Silva, this could be a banger. Um, but I'm curious on what side of Mamagomedov is going to show up because Silva is a more patient guy when he goes against other strikers. And if you look at his losses inside the UFC, it's primarily to grapplers. So when you give him a good ideal striking match, is he live to stay live throughout the whole fight? I think he is. I think he's live. I think he needs to weather an early storm because I think Mamagomedov's going to try to get him out early. He saw how early his chin got touched against Brandon Allen last fight, which I didn't expect like that. But I'm gonna go Mamagomed. Um, but one thing I'm looking towards is like Silva's never been KO'd. So if you're looking at this, you gotta hope that I think Mamagomed gets him out round one with like a TKO. If not, I think Silva could play similar fighting style to as he did versus Pereira. You know, try to survive the early storm. Start throwing some good mean check kicks because from what I see, Mama Gomed doesn't check the kick for shit. He'll just keep the kick, let him hit his lead leg and still come forward. My lean, like I said, my pick's gonna be Mama Gomed, but earlier I thought I had okay, he's a lock to play. He could be still. Is there a chance he can knock him out round one? Possibly. But until I see it, Silva's a decent live dog if you want to dart throw it. You know, never been knocked out in over 30 something fights. So if you want to dart throw to Silva, okay. But you're gonna be sitting on the edge of your seat. But my picks, Mama Gomed. I'd say that he's more of a GPP type play because if he doesn't get the knockout, I don't see him scoring well, 86. But I'm gonna be on Magomed.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty well. I'm on Magomedov as well. He's 18-2 as a kickboxer. Obviously, he's 11-0 in MMA. He's got a really solid game. He comes out really quick. He's got some fast hands and he's got a lot of power. At the same time, Silva does as well. So, like you said, Silva does make a really solid GPP play. It's kind of pick your choice. Building is going to be somewhat difficult because there's not really a whole lot of dogs to like on this card. Um, but yeah, that said, I'm also going with the debuting fighter with Magomedov. I think he comes out with a bang. So next up, we have Victoria Dudakova and Jinh Frey. And I was all over Dudakova in her debut. where she dislocated
Ugh,
uh, Nunez's elbow, and it was pretty disgusting.
with one
But
toss.
that was a 30-second KO. She'll probably have a little more resistance in this one, but I don't expect her to have much. Jinyu Frey's 38. She's lost 3 in a row. Um, there's not much to her game. Dudikova should absolutely roll her.
One thing that I saw that's sneaky on this fight, I may put a bet on, is the under 2.5 in this fight. Because I think, first round could be close. Genu does stay in fights early, but due to COVID, that girl got hands. But one thing people think, oh, she likes to knock out. No, she is primarily a grappler that will take you to the ground and pound you and look for a sub. I think before the end of the third round, it wouldn't shock me if she like big sisters Jen Frey, get her down flat and potentially get a sub late.
Yep, and it should be another relatively easy win for Dudikova on this one. So both of us going with Dudikova. Next
She's
up, we have
possibly she's possibly one of my sneaky plays.
she ain't sneaky. She's gonna
No, but
win.
if you think about all the rest of her other fights around, the other 9Ks, she's gonna be lower owned.
I doubt it. Jinyu
A
Frey
female
sucks.
fight.
Next up, we got Nate Wood and Muhammad Naimov. We got
All right, so Wood, he does look better coming up weight. I think he's like 3-0 at 145. But one thing I will say, and what pissed me off about his opponent, Nanimov, yes, he is fighting a guy that primarily can fight at 55, sometimes at 170, Malarkey. He was getting touched early until he landed that one clean shot and put Malarkey dead center of his ass. Now Nemov's going back to his natural weight of 145, where he had a lot of success. I'm actually going Muhammad Namimov in this fight. I think he can stay in the face of Wood. Wood does stay in the range of his opponents when it comes to striking. We've seen Wood get rocked against Andre Feely, and none against Feely. Feely can punch, but I don't think he has much power anymore. He just got a precise overall strike on him. But Nemov, I think, is going to stay in the face. He can work in his own wrestling at times, get some control time. But my only issue is when he's the guy that's trying to just load up a one punch. We've seen lately at 145, Nathaniel Wood does tend to change levels and go for takedowns. That's the only I could consider. But I think Nemov could end up playing spoiler, going back down to his natural weight of 45.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: you're fucking out of your mind. I'd bet my house on Nate Wood doing this fight. Naimov is fucking trash. There's a reason that he lost his contender fight against nobody, Anglin. Then he went over to another promotion, got a couple of wins against fucking garbage. Then he came back, had his debut, got lucky, and happened to knock out Malarkey, who's also a lower level fighter. Now you're giving him number 17 in the world, Nate Wood, who's been in the top 15 and is on his way back to the top 15 with 3 in a row. You're out of your fucking mind. Wood is going to make this look like a fucking cakewalk.
So I take him as the whole cakewalk. You're going to put him in your lineup and everything else too?
Probably not, because
No.
I think it goes to a decision. And the decision, it's hard to say, but I think he scores around 90 at his price, and there's better things around it. But I think he rolls Naimov. You're out of your mind.
Okay, that's fine.
So we are split on that one. You are going with Naimov. I'm going with Wood. Next up, we got Anshul Jubli against Mike Breeden. And at the beginning of the week, I was all over Jubli with you, and I'm not anymore. I'm taking Jubli to win. Don't get me wrong. But there's a reason that I am now more 50-50 on the fight. And it's because if Jubli chooses to stand and strike rather than shoot for takedowns, which is possible, I'm going to say that if Breeden keeps his fight on the feet and he avoids takedowns, he wins this fight. Telling you that right now.
He's got to avoid not getting hit though.
Correct.
Because two of his 3 losses are by round 1 knockout.
That was also against guys with a lot of power in Alex Hernandez and Terrence McKinney. Not saying that Jubli is bad or that he doesn't have power or anything like that, but if you go and you look at the 7 fights that he's had professionally, a lot of it is submissions or ground and pound. So Actually, I think that's all it is.
Pretty
He's
much like
not the
ground pound type shit.
he's not the best striker on the feet. And Breeden does have a fight where he was over 100 strikes against a grappler, Nathan Levy, and he damn near won that fight. So I'm it's just going to be one of those sneaky plays where Breeden could pay off at his price in a loss. And I don't think that Jubilee finishes this fight.
The more I'm looking at, it's either Jubilee somehow gets a ground and pound within 2, or he's probably going to score low 90s, maybe with control time, and if he doesn't get a finish. But I like Jubilee. I don't mind him as a. Originally I was gonna put him in a parlay, but we'll see. If I do anything, I'll probably do knockout decision prop, if anything. But I think Jubilee does win. I don't think Braden's UFC talent.
So going with both of us going with Jubilee in this one. Next up, we've got Abu Azaitar against Cedricus Dumas. Who we got? Sticking with dumbass.
I actually want to go as Itar, but I think his one brother that got knocked out by Pravola is the better fighter brother out of the two. This one's barely fought in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for a while. Now he's coming back at a who knows what his layoff. It's almost 3-year layoff. He's almost 38 at this point. So we're gonna see this as either he still can be manageable at his age, or the athletic ability of Dumas is gonna get him. I want to fade Dumas so freaking bad because I think there's times where he is overrated, but I will give him credit. He's taking his, training serious. He look like he's trying to go to better camps. I do respect that, but I'm actually picking Dumas in this fight. I think he's gonna outpoint him wherever the fight goes. I think Abu has one round in him. I really do. He's gonna try to come in like a madman, throw his overhands. And if you can't get in the range of Dumas, he's just gonna pick you apart at range, work your body, and who knows, maybe get a late finish. To my more of a lean, probably gonna say decision win.
I have Dumas as well. I just think that at Zaidar's age, he's lost a step. You've seen it
Yeah,
in the last fight, and he's still got power. Don't get me wrong. So if he squares up on Dumas, it's gonna be lights out. But I do have the younger fighter, and we'll see how it goes. But I don't know how to feel about this one for DFS.
dude, I think either one's gonna need a finish. If Dumas just stays at range, he's gonna pretty much realistically maybe score like a Meal Nagy decision with volume on the outside. If he was underdog money, like if you told me, oh, Avatar is the favorite, and I'm getting plus money at Dumas that I can do that. Okay, you might get like 70 or low 70s to high 70 in points. I'd be okay with that, but no, not on this slate where I think the slate's gonna be weird as hell. No, I'm staying away from it.
So both of us going with the favorite and Dumas. Next up, we got Javid Basharat against Victor Henry. And I'm pretty sure we're both on Basharat, but let's hear what you got.
I'm sorry, I don't go against Bachelorette brothers. There's some bad boys, man. Like the Bonfim brothers. I won't go against Gabriel at 85 or 170, wherever the hell he's at. But the Bachelorette brothers, they're the real deal. And DFS, I don't know, because I'll give it to Victor Henry. When Victor Henry shows up, he can make this a competitive fight. When he doesn't show up, you can see Basharat probably getting 5 to 7 takedowns, winning control time. But I'll give it to Henry. There's times where his takedown defense is actually pretty fucking good. Other times he can be held down, but he gets back up and throws volume. I think this will be Basharat's one of his harder fights to date, because you got a guy in Henry that doesn't go away, a guy that doesn't get finished. He's still gonna pace it. I don't know about for a DFS play at 94, because I think, like I said, Henry might have his somewhat of moments during fight, but I do see Basharat winning a decision. Like sooner or later, 94, when it comes that high of a DFS, there's too many other valuable plays around that range you can get to and should score higher. Until Basharat goes back to his finishing ways, it's hard to pay him that high.
I don't disagree. I've got Basharat as well, but this is also a fight that I could see him losing. Just because Victor Henry does have a lot of experience. He man, he's one of those guys that'll fight for your money every second of the fight. He doesn't get knocked out. Uh, I'm pretty sure he's only been submitted. No, he hasn't been submitted. So yeah, he hasn't been finished at all in his 30
No.
fights. So he takes everything to decision. And I mean, if Basharat decides to stand and strike like he did in a couple of other fights, he might run into a few problems against Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going with the favorite. I don't like him for DFS. I think he's too high for this going against Henry. I do think this goes 15 minutes, so Henry could pay off his price tag in a loss if he scores, 40 points. It's really good for cash. So, but both of us going with Basharat. Next up, we have Mohammed Yahya. I don't know how to say his name, but I would assume that's what it is.
It looks like Yaya.
And Trevor Peak. I am once again going to stick to Trevor Peak because I love the way he fights. He has one ridiculous chin, and his first round flurry is just disgusting. I think he just motors through yeah for a first round knockout.
I'm one of these days I'm gonna try to find another guy to fucking fade Peak. Like I think I was on Chepe, wasn't I, during a fight with Chepe? I was on Chepe because the guy had more well-roundedness. From what I see from Muhammad, yeah, you're 12-3, but dude, for one, nobody knows how old he is. Like you try to look it up, you can't find it. I think honestly he even got this fight because the fight's in Abu Dhabi. But from what I've seen from Yaya, he starts so fucking slow. And against Peak, you can't do that. Peak doesn't know what the definition of slow down means.
No,
and that's what gets me excited for this matchup. I was like, okay, give me another reason to fade Trevor Peak. I can't this fight. I just can't. I know I was on him against Cheape, someone that has grappling and striking. That I'll pick guys like that. I don't care what the tag is. I'll do it. This doesn't look like the fight. And I think Peak's gonna absolutely fucking steamroll this guy.
Yep.
Like his striking credentials don't look the greatest because he throws shit in weird fucking angles. But I think Peak's gonna steamroll him.
Yeah. So both of us going with Trevor Peak at 8,200 on DraftKings.
Yep.
It's a solid play, locking in. Next up, we've got Tim Elliott, the veteran, going against the rising prospect in Muhammad Makhachev. Who you got?
This fight, depending on how it goes, has a chance to be fight of the night. Whenever you get Tim Elliott, you know a Tim Elliott fight is going to be off the wall, crazy bullshit. I'm intrigued on how Makhachev's going to come back after that nasty fucking knee bar he was caught in. I don't know.
I'm sure he's fine.
I'll probably
he
say
survived it. He survived it in that fight. He's fine.
Yeah, like I'm intrigued on how that's going to look. Maybe he'll be careful with more of his wildness, but I highly doubt it. He's too. I think he's going to run into somebody that's going to, check him in his place one of these days. Could it be Tim Elliott? Maybe at some points during the fight, but not the whole fight. If Tim Elliott can stop the takedowns early, this fight could be very good. But I think at some point, Makhachev is going to get the back. Takedown. Oh, you can get back up. Takedown. Oh, you want to get back up again? Takedown. I think he's going to go a pure takedown city on Elliott. And would it shock me by the end of round one if this man has 5 takedowns? No. So Makhachev's definitely the pick. But for some reason, I'm getting these images that I think Elliott's going to pull it close. Could Makhachev finish him if he gets the back and submits him? Of course. That's Elliott's always weakness, getting submitted. I'm leaning him towards a submission at some point. Maybe not round 1. Maybe somewhere in round 2 where Elliott thinks, okay, now I need to make a big push. Makhachev shoots his level, takes him down, grabs the back, gets the rear naked choke. That'd be cool if I actually get that shit right in every sequence of it. But yeah, I'm going to go Makhachev by sub at some point.
I am also once again on Makhachev. I will say that Elliott has won 4 of his last fights using his cardio and grappling. Yep. He has looked really impressive in the ring, but Makhachev is a completely different beast. Elliott's been submitted 5 times, and I fully expect him to be submitted for a 6th time in this one.
All I know is at some point, depending on how you play, what do you say, Makhachev's a lock and everything?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's see the next fight.
So both of us going with Makhachev. Next up, we have Saeed Nurmagomedov and Muin Gafarov. And as I was going through this one, I think this in the whole card, I think this is the stupidest matchup. And I think that Nurmagomedov completely just puts Gafarov away. I don't know. I don't care if it's a decision where he just controls everything the whole time. I don't care if it's a knockout or a submission. He should absolutely have his way with Gafarov. If you look at Gafarov's last fight
Castaneda.
against John Castaneda, I mean, he lost to him. He lost his contender series fight against Chad Anglayer. So and now
Which he should have won that fight. That was terrible judging. He should have won that fight.
Regardless, he's now getting thrown a guy who's in the top 15 and who's pretty much as crisp as they come. I mean, and he showed off his wrestling last fight, so he does have it. He typically likes to strike, but he does have the complete package of wrestle if he needs to. I don't think Gafarov has a chance.
Out of if you see some of these Nurmagomedov, it's like, oh yeah, the wrestler. No, this one's also a striker. The only thing I'll say about Gavrov, yes, he's a good finisher. Don't get me wrong. 17 out of 18 wins are by finish. This is why I'm considering him as a dog right now, is because he does have his own good wrestling credentials. And you saw what happened to Nurmagomedov, what was it, 2 fights ago? Where he was getting absolutely fucking steamrolled and then guy just walked into a choke. The guy's not in the UFC no more. The UFC Cup for some fucking reason.
Kakhramonov,
Whatever the hell his name is. But he damn near had Saeed fucking beat control. Saeed didn't know what the hell to do until what's his name walked in right to a choke.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, but that was Kakhramonov, and he also beat Ronnie Lawrence. So I mean, that's
what I was gonna say. That's the guy.
You can't tell me that Gafarov is on the same level as
no. But look, if you want to have any type of success, he does have the wrestling credentials. Like, look, as long as I guard my neck, he could have a shot to win a fucking stupid decision. Because he looked like Saeed had no problem staying on his ass. Like, oh fuck, I keep getting taken down. All right, because ideally that's how he's gonna win the fight. He's not gonna. If you're telling me that Gavranoff's gonna go in there and stay at range, you're gonna get pieced up and lose a 30-27. If he can stay close, make the fight dirty, get the takedown, I think he can win a decision.
You're nuts.
And I'm going Gafarov.
You're an idiot.
I think Saeed's overrated, bro.
You're gonna look real dumb Saturday, just so you know.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we are split on this one. I've got Saeed Nurmagomedov. You've got Muin Gafarov. Next up, we have one of my favorite fights on the card: Ikram Aliskerov versus Warley Alves. I would assume that you're also on the favorite.
Yes, I'm on the favorite. It's not much to talk about. Like, nothing against Wally. Yes, Wally Alves is entertaining. No, as long as the fights are early, but he does gas. And one thing I would like to see, I kind of want to see Askarov go longer in a fight. Because the longer it goes, it favors him. Because I think there's a chance he could absolutely chain wrestle the shit out of Wally Alves for 3 rounds. But at the same time, one thing I didn't like against Spencer Hawes not Spencer Hawes, Philip Hawes. Yes, he was getting touched early. Yes, he even got wobbled a little bit. But like I said, the man has power to, as long as you leave that one opportunity, all he's gonna need is one hand. And he showed that against Hawes. I think if Wally's gonna have any type of chance at 67, you got a bull rush. Because I think you have under a round of cardio in this fight, or you are screwed.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
But I'm going to Askarov. And honestly, in fucking, I think you're gonna pick between him and Makhachev. It's gonna be hard to try to get both. So, unless you're very confident in one of the other lower tier dogs, then hey, it's possible. But
yeah, it's tough. But I really like Aliskerov in this one. Not that Warley Alves is a terrible fighter or anything. I just don't think he's on the same level. Plus, Alves doesn't have the speed to keep up with Aliskerov.
No.
So both of us going with the favorite. Aliskerov is one of my favorite picks on the card for cash and GPP. I love him in this one. So next up, we've got another name, Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. This is a really interesting fight. I have Ankalaev because he, to me, is the most complete fighter in this division. He won that fight against Blachowicz. It was
That was horseshit.
bullshit. That was one of the worst decision calls ever because Blachowicz thought that he lost the fight.
He should
Yeah.
still be champion.
So, and this, whoever wins this fight is going to have a shot at the belt. And could Johnny Walker, land something flush? Yeah, absolutely. He's got 7-inch reach advantage. He's got a reach advantage on everybody. And he's got some good power. The problem is that Ankalaev can wrestle, and Johnny Walker is not the greatest wrestler in the world. Mm-hmm. So, if he comes out right away and wrestles, this is going to be a smash spot for him. He could keep him on the ground for 3 rounds, 15 minutes, and just destroy his price tag. But I expect him to kind of slow play like he usually does. It's going to be, touch here, touch there, because neither one of these guys get hit very much. They're both actually really good defensively. But I think the difference in the fight is the wrestling, and Ankalaev should walk away with the win.
So if I knew the old school Johnny Walker coming out to this fight, I would actually say he is a live dog in this fight. Because he's going to try to get in the face. He's going to get wild. He's going to try to find a way to touch Ankalaev up. But Ankalaev's better everywhere in this fight. Like, don't get me wrong, Johnny Walker's new approach of being patient, picking his shots since he's moved to Ireland. Yes, it's looking good for him. He's winning fights. I think was he a dog against Anthony Smith?
I don't think so.
I know people had questions in that fight, but he was more precise in his striking. He had good footwork. He hurt Smith a lot to the body. And look, I'm a Johnny Walker guy, but Ankalaev's gonna be champion.
Yep.
Just a matter of time.
Should have already been. Should be right now.
Yep. And then he'll fight the winner of Pereira and Yuri?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'm on Ankalaev.
Yeah, that fight was a draw, actually.
It should have been a draw. That was terrible.
But it
remember, I was in Disney for that shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, I remember that now.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was stupid. I was very mad about that. But both of us going with the soon-to-be champ, Ankalaev.
Yep.
Next up, we have Kamaru Usman versus Hamzat Chimaev. Man. I'm gonna
into it. So I've always loved Usman. Always have, always will. I was hoping this fight was gonna happen at 170, but I know Chimaev had a hard time making 170 during times. That's why he does a lot of catch weights. But I think 185 is gonna be his main home. I wish Kamara had a full fucking camp for this fight. And I wish it was 5, not 3. Because you're telling me this is a 5-round fight? 3 rounds. I'm intrigued on how it's going to go. I think there's a chance Chimaev could try to come out more aggressive round 1 to get the early respect, try to get on the scorecard 1-0. And then we could really see what Usman's going to do with his back against the wall. Who knows? I was this close. But you know how I am on some fights. I pick one fighter, and I may use the other one in line. But I'm going Chimaev. I think Chimaev's the future at 185. I think he's going to get tested on the feet a little bit. Because, look, I'll guarantee Usman will chin check him at one point. Not knock him out, but he's going to come in with his hands down, trying to showboat, try to show Uncle Dana some dumb shit. And Kamara is going to hit you. And I can guarantee that cockiness will go away. It may wobble him a little bit. I don't think it's going to knock him the hell out, but he's going to get wobbled and be like, oh, shit, I'm in here with the Nigerian Nightmare. I'm like, you damn right. But I'm actually thinking this fight goes decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I have a decision as well. Even in a 5-round fight, I'd still have a decision.
Yeah, I got Chimaev.
So I have Chimaev as my pick. That's who I took in my article, so I'm going to take him in here too. But I will say that I am going to play Usman in a GPP line, if not at multiple, because if you were to tell me that the Usman that we were getting is the Usman
before
that
Leon.
didn't lose last second to Leon Edwards in a stupid fucking way, I'd be Usman all day because I think that Usman is still the best fighter in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be one of those fights. I mean, Chimaev did struggle against Burns, so if this is a striking match, Usman is gonna he's
That's
gonna
right.
touch him and he could knock him out. I've got no doubt in my mind that Usman is completely live for a knockout in this one. Not only that, but Usman is probably at 180 at 180 185
He
or
said that he
yeah,
didn't have to cut much weight.
185. He's gonna be the stronger fighter. Hamzat's taller, whatever, but Usman's going to be stronger. And although Chimaev has the speed and pressure difference, if Usman can get him in the clinch, we haven't seen Hamzat work in the clinch yet. Not really. We've seen him clinch, but we have not seen him
You seen
work
him
out of the
clinch with
clinch.
Kevin Holland, but he
And
ragged all Kevin Holland.
and Usman is one of the best clinch fighters in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if he gets him there, this could go south real fast for Hamzat.
Yes. But my only feeling is seeing how bad some of the judging's been. And they're in Abu Dhabi. This fight could be like, oh
No,
shit, Usman
don't even
might be
talk.
up 2-1. And somehow you see Usman minus like 2,000 still lose a fucking decision.
Yeah, it's happened way too much lately, but I definitely agree. So both of us are on Hamzat with a big asterisk right there because we also love Usman to win this fight.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the main event, fight number 2 between Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. And I know the majority of people are still on Islam. They're smart to be on Islam. He's obviously probably the best wrestler, well, second best wrestler, chain wrestler in the UFC because I'm going to give the number 1 spot to Merab.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, besides that, Makhachev is, he's a beast. He's already beaten him once. The fight was close, but I am once again going with Volkanovski. And there's a big piece to it. I think that Volkanovski is not going to be as patient this time. I think he was going to get into his face real quick. And there's not many fighters out there that have better mid-fight adjustments than Volkanovski. I mean, we saw in that 5-round fight, Islam couldn't submit him. So it's going to be, can Volkanovski keep it up long enough to land square enough? I mean, he hurt Islam more than Islam hurt him in that fight. Theoretically, the fight could have gone either way.
We could have.
So I'm on Volkanovski. I know it's short notice, but this is Volk we're talking about. He's one of the greatest fighters in the world. And, I'm going with Volk.
So I rewatched the fight actually before you told me the invite sent. Now I was finishing up on it. I can see why people went both sides. Oh, Volk. Oh, Islam. They both got rocked in their own individual points during the fight. Like I said, I wish this was a full camp again. But hey, I respect Volk. He took the call. I can guarantee he's getting a nice payday for taking the fucking call. But with that being said, Volk did put everything that he could in that fight, and he still came up a tad bit short. If you told me so, if he won, I would not have been surprised. But I slightly gave it to Islam in that fight with control time. Now with Volk pretty much coming out saying I'm gonna come out more aggressive, that's either gonna hurt him or he's gonna really catch Islam when Islam's hand down. He's gonna hit him with an overhand and potentially knock him the fuck out. And Islam saying, "Oh, what power? Oh, I haven't seen nothing impressive at 155. You can knock out guys at 145, hibby hoobla." But I think this is gonna be a
I
hit or
think
miss.
Islam forgot that he got knocked down in that fight. So,
But I'm slightly going Islam, bro.
no, I don't
Like,
hate it.
I love Volk, and I wasn't happy originally when. Don't get me wrong. I know why Volk got this fight. It's a bigger fight to sell tickets in his backyard. I just feel bad for Gamrot. You were signed the backup fighter, and he's still going down there to cut weight. And
Gamrot's fine.
I know, but look, I know I like Gamrot, and I'm glad Gamrot won, but I didn't want him to win like he did, but I was hoping, okay, wrestler versus wrestler, and Gamrot is probably right now the second best wrestler in that division, behind Islam at 155. If you want to say it's close between him and Sarukian, okay, but
Talking about pure wrestling, not grappling.
just pure wrestling. If you want to add
Okay.
grappling into the mix, then that's a different, conversation. But just wrestling for wrestling,
I'm talking
I,
about credentialed wrestling or people that use their wrestling. Because Michael Chandler would fit right up there. He just doesn't use it.
if yeah, I'm talking about guys that actually use it. Gamrot has credentials and he uses it. Islam use it credential. Fucking, if you told me Tyson Chandler would go into it, or Justin Gaethje, or anyone else, all these other guys, then conversations would be having talked. But I'm on Islam. I think the aggression in is gonna potentially leave possible openings for Volk to get his legs taken, possibly a double leg. Maybe Islam in better dominant positions.
All right, all
I
right,
don't
all right.
see look, I don't see him knocking out Volk. I know people are saying, oh, if he comes out aggressive, I'm gonna catch him. Look, yeah, you caught him a couple times. You rocked him, but it wasn't too bad because he left his chin up and you got him. That's gonna happen to anybody. But if anything, look, people say, "Oh, how you gonna do Islam?" I'm like, if anything, I'm playing Islam by the money. If I'm picking Islam to win as a bet, if you're telling me, could he maybe sneak in a submission? Look, if Ortega's not doing it, I don't see him doing it.
Correct.
So, as a punt, if you want to save money, I will not tell you to get off Volk. I will not say that because if he really could, he be the one to do it? Oh yeah. Because ideally, I was gonna pick Oliveira in this fight. And I was jumping all money boat on that fucking line before he let go. I still think Oliveira, if he's gonna lose somebody, I think it's gonna be Oliveira in the rematch.
Quite possibly. But we are split on that one as well. You are going with the favorite in Islam. I have the dog and Volkanovski. Um, that wraps up that. And I'm going to give you a fucking wild hot take. You ready for this?
Okay.
Volk records the first takedown and knocks Islam out ground and pound round one.
Ooh. Do you imagine if we could bet the odds on that shit?
That'd be
Um,
disgusting.
hmm. No, that wouldn't even be a take. That would be like him if he's gonna win. That's how he's gonna win. Um. Yeah, dogs are gonna be weird in this fight. These whole fights are.
You've got two of them. What do you mean?
No, I thought I had two or three. I thought. Let me see. Yeah, I got Muhammad
No,
and I got Gamarov,
name
right?
off.
Oh, for some reason I thought I had another one. But no, yeah, I have two dogs. Um, this one's gonna be a bold take, and I would mainly use her for tournaments, and I think Victoria could potentially score high as fuck against Jin Frey.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know there's other 9Ks or even the higher 8K options below her that are gonna get more ownership than her, but I think she's gonna absolute steamroll Jinyu. And I thought even at 9,200, there's some female fights I don't like targeting, but that's a fight for tournaments. Like I said, due to her tag and everyone else around her, she's gonna be lower owned. People usually doesn't like to take those higher pay up for females. I think she's gonna steamroll her by either in a finish or a decision. She's gonna steamroll the fuck out of her. 30-26, or she's just gonna fucking take her down, control her, and end up getting a sub.
Or ground and pound. She's got
Or
some.
ground and pound. And then she can hit me up on my DMs.
You're an idiot.
I know I am.
I'm gonna give you one more because I feel like being crazy.
Okay.
Mike Breeden wins by knockout.
I mean, I hate to say it. Like, one thing I was watching, at least Jubilee's road to the UFC. Is he the most fluent striker? No, but he does have longer punches that can hit. But I think how he's gonna win that, like I said, change levels, takedown. But one thing I know about Jubilee, even his that fight where he got the contract, he sometimes has tall man defense. He leaves his hands out, his chin open to get hit. It's possible. So I don't hate that. I kind of have one, but it kind of go against my will because I did have him as a live dog. I think there is a chance Bruno could knock out Magomed
Of course. I mean,
because
he's got
he hasn't fought
busters.
nobody really. And like I said, all Bruno really loses to his grapplers really. I don't like
Mhm.
how his chin's getting touched lately by those grapplers. I don't like seeing that shit. But because sometimes the chin does go. But I think Bruno is live for a potential knockout,
Of course. I mean, he's got 20 knockouts to his name.
and he's never been knockout.
So that wraps up this portion of the card. I don't remember what we have next week. Let's
Oh,
check.
it's
Oops.
Almeida and Derek Lewis, I think.
Oh, is it?
I think,
It is. Hell yeah.
dude. I don't even
It's
want
gonna
to
be
know the line.
Almeida's gonna be like the first 10,000 fighter. Hey,
I
Gabriel
don't even think
Bonfim's on the card.
which one.
Gabriel Bonfim,
Oh, the bigger brother.
the better one.
Yes. Okay, let's see this card real quick. Oh, he's going against my dog. I like picking against too. I
Yeah.
like picking Dolby as a dog.
Oh, both Bonfims are on the card again. Huh. How about that?
I don't think the other one should be that high as a favorite. Jesus Christ.
Against Vince Pichel? Pichel?
Look, Pichel's wild,
All
but
he does is fucking wrestle
look, he also got out wrestled by our fucking Saint Denis boy.
because he's a beast.
Saint Denis a
Oh,
bad.
Elvis Brenner's on the card too. And he's against, oh man.
Oh, they have Brenner slightly as the
And Fakhradinov. I like this card.
yeah.
And Gomes is on the card. She's going to knock out
Petrino.
Angela Hill.
Petrino's on
Damn.
the card.
All right. Well,
Ooh. Dude,
we got a lot.
I think I found fight of the night. Lucas Alexander and David Onama.
Yeah.
They are gonna let the hands fly.
Or do nothing.
Not
But yeah.
David
All right.
Onama
Well,
doesn't do-
that rips everything up. It's definitely good to be back. I'm glad we were able to get this done tonight.
Yes.
So, as always, we appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next week.